Should we begin?
Let's do this.
Great. So welcome to Be the Glitter, the podcast where we talk about tough topics with giggles and leave inspiration that sticks.
We're glittery.
That's right. I'm not even actually wearing glitter, but we'll just exude glitter as we talk. Thank you so much. I go by Wham, W-A''A''M, and we've got Joe Green here and Fran Dunaway from TomboyX. So why don't we have everybody introduce themselves as they would like to be known? And we'll start with Fran, please.
Sure. Thank you. My name is Fran Dunaway. Pronouns are she, her, and I am the co-founder of TomboyX. It's a clothing and underwear apparel company that is for all bodies.
I love that. I love how when we talked earlier that you said, I just think everyone's body is cool the way they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can have a video clip of you saying that on my phone every day.
Look in the mirror. You're okay. Yeah.
The only time I want to look at a full-length mirror is to self-check for ticks. So,
Well, we got to change that today.
Yes, exactly.
and Joe, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Joe Green. I've been a guest on the podcast previously, but I'm so excited to be co-hosting today, or for your interview. And I use she, her pronouns. Proud, out, member of the LGBTQ community.
Awesome. Yes, and I'm a proud bisexual, like actually pansexual writer / executive of a nonprofit / just absolute advocate of everyone.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on the podcast today. And I love to start out asking our lovely guest about your identity story, if you're comfortable talking about that.
Sure. Well, let's see. I guess that my sexual identity changed when I was 21 and came out as a lesbian, and became an activist pretty early on because I was very surprised that the world wasn't welcoming and as excited about knowing myself better than I had ever known myself before. So that was a real surprise. And I started getting involved in politics and the human rights campaign and finding a variety of ways to kind of work on changing not only policy, but people's minds and hearts.
I love that. So how did you get involved? When you say that you became involved in politics, you started protesting, I imagine, or how did you get involved?
I definitely got involved with some marches and different things, but I started the Human Rights Campaign steering committee in Seattle, Washington, and then I became a video producer, started producing video ads, ended up being a partner in a media strategies firm, and I produced video or ads for various campaigns and candidates that shared my values and so made a career of that. And that was all going on right before founding TomboyX.
Wow.
That's an amazing story. Can you tell me a story that just like pops out for you about like with your identity, right? Like advocacy is such an important part of it, and so many people don't have to advocate for their identity. So can you just share like a story or a feeling around like when it clicked for you and how you got into advocacy so quickly?
I think that it was just an innate, really, for me, when I realized that was what was wrong with me, if you will. It was just like these doors opening up and I started figuring out who I was. And so it was so true to having spent 21 years not being comfortable or feeling like I really knew who I was. And so once I came out, I was kind of like, this is it. I'm not going to hide it. And so, I in any job that I ever had, I was very open, if not overtly. I just wouldn't deny it or hide it. And so, um, I've always been out, and my first career was actually as a administrator for group homes for developmentally disabled adults and children. And it was my first job in Washington State was for a Christian agency, and I was pretty sure that I wouldn't get the job based on showing up who I was, and I did get the job, and it ended up being a great several years before I sold everything and went to film school. So I don't know, it just felt, I don't like to be dishonest, and it felt dishonest to not just be who I am.
That's
Can
wonderful
relate.
that you're so supported in that as well. 'Cause I think we all have some trans friends right now who have had a difficult time getting a job because of being out as trans and being boldly who they are as their authentic self, and then have felt the pressure to go back and change their LinkedIn profile back to their
Mm,
dead name and their dead photo just because of survival. They're just having a really tough time landing a job as
mm.
their authentic selves. And that's so hard to watch and see and hear about.
It really is. It's horrifying. It's sad for, a lot of people to have felt like there was progress and there was change, good things happening, and then to have a lot of things taken back. And the queer community has always been a scapegoat for the others and to scare in politics particularly. And so they just have found the next group within the LGBTQ plus community to point to and scare people. And it's sad because it's real lives, it's real people's
Mhm,
livelihoods. It's impactful, it's hurtful, and
mhm.
it's just mean and unnecessary. So yeah.
I was gonna say that the unnecessary word is what pops up to me too. It's like
Same.
so unnecessary.
Hmm.
Oh, and so that's basically part of the TomboyX story, right? Let's hear your origin story for TomboyX again, because I find it so inspirational, and I love, to be honest with you, the little sound bites that you have that come out the way you speak about your business with such passion and for who you are supporting and how you listen to who you're serving is just, it's just get ready, audience, because this is a great story.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. My wife and I really started the company out of our one-car garage because I was frustrated with not having quality button-up shirts that fit my body. And so she at the time said, "Well, how hard can it be to start a clothing line?" And so we decided to go ahead and do that. And really, it was a side project in our one car garage. And we started making shirts and getting a prototype made. And then we did a Kickstarter campaign. And it was really during the Kickstarter campaign that we recognized that the name was resonating in a very powerful way, and that we had stepped into a white space, and that there were people within our community and beyond that were saying, "Thank goodness, finally, I've been a tomboy all my life. I don't, I go into the clothing stores and there's pink and ruffles on one side, and then on the other side of the colors, the muted colors, the stuff that I like with the finer quality fabrics, but they don't fit my body. So this middle ground." And we thought that was really powerful that we had stepped into this space. And then once we got the company up and running and got the shirts made, we actually recognized Naomi was doing customer service all the time. And she said, "We're getting a lot of requests for boxer briefs for women." And I was like, "What? Nobody does that?" And so I went online and went on to Nordstrom.com and typed in boxer briefs for women, and up came a pair of Spanx. And we were pretty sure that wasn't what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So that was when we pivoted and really changed the trajectory of the company. So it's been really important to us from the beginning to listen to our customers and to show up in a way that they feel seen and heard, because for
Mhm.
so many of us, that was never the case, especially in fashion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that's so apparent when we go to your website and shop for your underwear. I loved the representation, these beautiful bodies with all of their curves and lumps and true shape that is not photoshopped to look like Barbie, right?
Right. Or AI. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
oh, it was so great to honestly, I was almost saying out loud, like, oh, her butt looks like that in underwear too. Oh, great. Okay, I can do
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, proud to show off. I've got my
Yay.
pride stripe bra
Right.
on. I've got another pride
Nice.
stripe bra, and I'm in love with these briefs. Thank you so much.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
And I say thank you in that you made them. I paid for these myself. Everyone who's listening, this was not a paid sponsorship. So pure customer appreciation here. You've got this ritual, if I understand correctly. To me, as somebody who's come from marketing and branding and business consulting, it's so important that there's this alignment, but also that everyone seems to be fully standing behind your mission. Everyone knows the mission, they know the vision, and everyone can very clearly stand behind that. Do you mind speaking to that a little bit?
Well, I think that we we are, I think we're what, 40% LGBTQ plus within the team, and 50% in our executive leadership. No, 75% in our executive leadership team.
That's
And
great.
so it's just kind of part of who we are. I like to say we're 20 people in a basement, and I think we're 23 people in a basement now. But it's just a small group of people that are really passionate about what we're doing and why we're doing it. I think that all of us get tired of these inspirational brands that want to tell you how to be cool. And really, for us, it's celebrating how cool the community really is. And so people are definitely behind that. They also get behind the notion of the fact that we are B Corp and benefit corporation. And that really means that our values are baked into the DNA of the company forever. And so that means that we put community and sustainability before profits. And so that being said, we have to be profitable to survive. So
Sure.
and we want to survive, especially in this environment, because honestly, surviving in this environment is kind of a royal fuck you to what's going on within the
Yeah.
administration now, and them trying to pretend we don't exist, or make it feel bad to exist. So we want to celebrate that the joy of being who we are and feeling good in our own skin.
Yeah, and I always say joy is resistance, right? Like
Yes.
there are so many times where I feel guilty for showing up and having a great time, and that's exactly what they want, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want to make us feel bad about these beautiful identities and like the love that we have, you know? So
Mhm.
I just appreciate a brand that embodies it. And how many queer clothing lines, like, I used to have to go to Amazon to try to find a queer clothing line. And I'm like, this is so backwards,
Backwards.
like
Yes.
what? So actually finding those businesses that are, like you said, a B Corp where the advocacy is there is quite inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just a reflection of the values that Naomi and I share. When we started the company, we've always been in very what do you call it? We've always been in professions where we're giving back or doing something
Mhm.
for people, and could never just go to a job just to go to a job. So it was important to us. We weren't very keen on capitalism when we started. And so it was important that if we were going to sell shit to people, then we needed to make sure it was quality shit.
And now a word from our Glitter Bomb sponsor.
This episode of Be the Glitter is brought to you by New Valley Labs. In 2023, we set out to build the type of firm we would have wanted to work with when we were building. not a bunch of consultants with branded PowerPoint frameworks or ex-corporate guys sharing best practices, but founders like us, scrappy outsiders who have been in the trenches and come out the other side. Building and funding startups in the Midwest is hard enough. Our startup studio was born from the frustration of not finding genuine resources for founders who don't always fit the typical mold. Our crew is made up of veteran founders who've built empires, hustling for funding, and celebrated serious wins. We're here to disrupt the norm and give a voice to the underdogs, diverse, underrepresented founders, and fearless innovators who are building the next generation of unicorns. Welcome to New Valley, where founders bloom. Email us at hello@newvalleylabs.com to help start or boost your journey as a startup founder.
So
Yeah.
and that we treat people well, that we made sure from the beginning that our factory owners were paying living wages. We went and introduced ourselves and looked around the factories before we would engage with anyone. And we made sure from the very beginning that we used Ecotech certified fabrics and just everything along the way. We've always given back to the community, and we try not to destroy clothing if we end up with extras or excess surplus. We always find some sort of an agency to make a donation to. So that's just who we are, and we wanted to make sure that our company reflected that, and we feel that corporations have a responsibility not only to their customers but to the planet.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And your clients seem to be, or your customers seem to be responding with lots of gratitude and appreciation pretty regularly.
We do here. Our community is very vocal, as I'm sure you're aware, and we love that about our community. Our customer service team is small but mighty. We have 2 customer service team members, and they spend a lot of time making sure that people feel handheld or taken care of. And at the end of every weekly stand up for the all team, we hear customer reviews read aloud. And so in the meeting with that's why we're here. And that is the absolute truth. We're there for our customers.
That's so brilliant. I love that. And I love how you can inspire them and then they can inspire you right back. And what a beautiful, sustainable relationship that is.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to go to Trans Visibility Day in Washington, D.C. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't been out meeting and talking with customers in quite some time. So I'm excited to have that opportunity.
Oh, that's fabulous. Especially, you're mentioning this, so I'm bringing it right out here. We're reading some articles from the current administration, I guess, that's trying to claim that trans people don't exist or that binding underwear is considered a medical device and that has certain political intentions and ramifications behind that. Do you mind speaking to that as it relates to TomboyX?
Sure. Yeah. A couple of months ago, we received a warning letter from the FDA, along with 11 other LGBTQ plus owned companies, and they singled us out as providers of chest binders for customers, and they did this press conference and came out and had a lot of misinformation out there around binding, and they made a grandiose show of we're going to get those people that are trying to change the gender or impact gender dysphoria. And really that's the term that they're after, is that that's why what their claim is about binding is that it is a medical treatment for gender dysphoria. TomboyX has never had binders per se. We have compression tops, and they're not as compressive as some of the true binders you can find out there. That was a decision that we made early on. I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and so it was important to me that we make sure that we're not too compressive, that it might cause some unexpected or unintended side effects. So ours is much more forgiving. Some of our binder customers have written in that we're not as binding as they want, and so we refer them to other stores that might be more to their liking. That being said, we did launch a couple of weeks after getting the FDA letter. We actually launched our compression top 2.0, which is more compressive, and a lot of people wear them for sports bras, and it's just a very comfortable recycled products that gives the kind of compression that people want for a variety of reasons.
Wow. Yeah. Did it take you by surprise, or how did you feel when you got that letter?
It really did. I was actually on vacation with my 90-year-old father on a cruise in Germany, and got the word of this letter. And I thought, the FDA, we're not making, we don't make food. Why is the
Right.
FDA coming after us? I was very perplexed. And then when I saw what it was, I knew immediately that we probably weren't the only ones, that this was more than likely with a specific target in mind. And so that turned out to be the case. The next day, they published all the letters, and there were 12 of us that were impacted.
Wow.
Wow.
So, how has it impacted you since?
Oh, we went through the process and followed the advice. We went and back through and reread and made some changes to the website and how we describe things. As I said, we never called anything a binder. In fact, the only reference to binder on the website was in an FAQ. And when we were explaining what binding is, because a lot of our customers would ask us what binding is, so we just put it in the FAQ. So we did make some changes there. We want to take the letter seriously.
Yeah.
And so we did, and we feel that we've done everything we need to do to let that worry go.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, glad you giggled, because I was like, can we just laugh out loud at some of these audacious claims?
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to rant for like 20 minutes about how medical devices are there for people's health and wellness. Like,
Exactly.
nobody makes medical devices that are harmful. So,
Yeah.
like, it's almost an admittance that these are valuable, necessary parts of medicine. And it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Let's see. Are you doing it because you care for the trans community? Oh, right. No, it's
Yeah, it's
not
not
that.
coming off that
It's
way.
not that, is it?
No, but it is
Yeah,
outrageous.
it is. It's
Know.
just it's relentless. It's relentless,
Mhm.
and we have to just stay positive. We have to ride this wave. This too shall pass.
Mhm.
We just have to get there and stick together and stand up for each other,
Yeah.
and not get drawn into the politics of it
undertow.
all. It's just a distraction. It's just, they've got to feed the base, and so that they can keep doing what they're doing in other places, or
Mhm.
not let us look at things like, Epstein files. And so, yeah,
Right.
it's the
Right.
same old, same old.
Right. They can feed their bottom feeders while we learn how to paddle and surf even better, just look awesome and totally bodacious as we ride these waves. Because, what this does is also fuel research, which I think is so important to fully focus on the research that is so badly needed as it relates to women's health, as well as gender and sexuality, how different they are, that gender is not binary. There's so much about genes that we need to better understand. Some of that research has been hidden. Some of it needs to get resurfaced. Some of it needs to be researched in a better, more democratic way. And now we're actually hearing some scientific data that is explaining how natural and normal
Uh-huh.
transgender this is real and this is not fake. Like, transgender people exist. This is natural. This is not abnormal. If I can find the link to that research paper, I might include it in the notes to this podcast, because I think it's just so important that we understand that A lot of these claims are truly laughable because they're so unscientific. They're just literally blasphemous. It's just so sad that they could get away with it somehow.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's that fear. It's that fear. It's the fear mongering, and to your point, we just listening to trans people, and it's just really important. I think that people be heard, and we develop a sense of trying to understand each other rather than feeling in the position of being able to tell someone how they can and cannot be, or what gender they are or not. It's just shocking and
Yeah.
horrifying. Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I really see that, like, how you've manifested that value with the conversations with your customers, right? And not making assumptions about what people need or assuming everyone is the same, right? We see that
Hmm.
all too often in clothing. We see it all too often in society. And it's just like that foundation is so strong. And like
Mhm.
it is the acceptance that people need right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, absolutely. In fact, we were just having that conversation within the team. I mean, within the LGBTQ community, there's a wide spectrum of tastes and likes. And, some people
Mhm.
like the pride stripe, some people go black all day long. And so,
Yeah.
there's just a lot. And so we try to show up for the community in different ways at different times, and recognizing that we can't be everything to everyone at all times. And so
Mhm.
we're very proud to carry a lot of trans adaptive clothing. We have been for a very long time. When we develop new product or we make improvements to product, we work with people within the community that we're making that product for, and we take their feedback to heart. And that goes for the extended size community as well, because
Mhm.
when we used to carry extra small through 4X, and then we decided that we would go to 5 and 6X. And so rather than just make assumptions, to your point, Joe, we brought in a focus group of 5 and 6X customers and worked with them on how to make the clothing fit for their body types, because a 4X 6 foot person is a different size than a 5.5 foot 4X person. It's just different ways of the body. And so we want to make sure that the patterns and the fit works for everyone. And sometimes we get it wrong and we have to go back and make some adjustments. But that perfection is always on our mind.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Wow.
I think with like plus size clothing, it's been so hard to get a pattern in those clothings for
Yeah.
so long. It's like I, in normal size clothing, however you want to say that, it's like you get the pick of 18 different bra types and colors in one store, and then it's like, oh, if you're over a 2X, then you get no pattern. You get nude or black, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
so
right.
to
Yeah.
Or
see the difference, I love it so much.
when we
Mhm.
first started, yeah, the only options for the extended sizing were granny panties, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty outrageous. And then the other thing is that, with the extended sizing, that we wanted to avoid from the beginning was not having a separate section that you had to shop in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That whole othering it just permeates how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mhm.
also didn't want to charge more, even though, I can assure you that our extra small, it takes a lot less fabric than the 6X, for example, but we don't want to charge more for the 6X because of that same thing. We want people to feel welcome and not have to feel ashamed about
Mm-hmm.
how their body is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's very equitable.
Damn liberals. Those bleeding hearts, they just get us all the time.
Well, and I think that speaks to at one point I said, if you're not in with inclusivity, you're just out of touch. And one of my friends was just like, oh my God, I love that. Can you put it on a t shirt?
It's very good.
So sometimes I ask people when I say that, what comes up for you? Because everyone's got a very different perspective on what does that even mean to you when I say something like that?
I think at the end of the day, we're all human, and what we need to do, and if you want to feel good all the time, then treat others with kindness and go out of your way to do something nice for someone on a daily basis. And those the negative feelings and uh, judgments of others will just start dropping away in a
Yeah.
huge way. And so humanity is the common thing that we all share. There's no getting away from that. And othering is just a ridiculous way to try and feel better, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, certainly doesn't work. I love that. Jill
And get a
always
dog.
You have two, correct?
Yes, and they're driving me crazy right now, and you can't see them, but they are right underfoot, I assure you.
I think Jill has two dogs.
Yep.
I
Ah,
have two dogs.
okay, so maybe it's two dogs. You get two dogs.
Yeah.
Get two dogs.
That's funny. I have a cat too. Let's hear it for the cat people.
Oh yeah. We lost our cat, so I keep threatening to get our youngest dog a cat, but my wife is adamant against that.
Yeah.
My puppy used to have a cat, and it was really fun to watch them interact.
Oh yes,
Mhm.
that's the best.
In fact, the cat learned that the dogs, when they would come in from outside, would sit at a certain place in the kitchen and wait, and I would give them treats. So then the cat learned to watch the dogs come in, and
Oh
then
yeah,
he'd come in and sit in
line
front of
up.
the dogs. It's equal rights in this house.
That's right. Where's my treat? I've been a cat all day. Oh, that's precious.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So, what is next for TomboyX? And what is next for
Oh,
you?
there's so much excitement happening. Let's see, we've got a new chief creative officer, and he
Awesome.
just started a couple of months ago. It's a friend of mine that I've known for years, and he came on board, and he's really changing the way we present ourselves and the way we show up. And I think we'll have a long lasting impact on products and things going forward. So I'm super excited about that. Also, have a new CEO who has been on board for this is week 4, and
Wow.
she came in guns a blazing. So lots of big changes happening, which is very exciting. Did you?
And I always love to ask who deserves some of your gratitude? Do you have any shout outs for anybody?
Gosh, well, I'm always gratitude for my wife and everything she does for me and my father on a daily basis. But honestly, as far as the company goes, I'm so grateful for our customers and for their patience. We've gone through some big changes that are needed, and so I'm thrilled that people have been patient with us while we undergo some big changes. Just moved our warehouse, and we had some issues around a fit of a certain style that we've now fixed. So stuff like that where we're grateful that people care enough to write in, and we're grateful that people trust us to get it right. So always grateful for that.
I imagine you're also grateful for your loyalty in all your customers and those who are working with you. There's quite a disappointment in Target, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes, there was that. That was, in fact, when you were talking about what's happening within the trans community in terms of, making progress. And Naomi and I flew to LA for a shoot with Target when we did a collab with them, and I think it was in 2023, and it was a mic drop moment. I mean, we got back on the plane and we were like, we did it. Their TomboyX product is going to be in every Target store in the US, and people in Missouri were sending us pictures, my great nieces, and they would send us pictures, and every Target store. It was just truly, we felt like, okay, our work here is done. And then the following year with the administration change, sadly, Target just started quietly pulling our stuff from the website and didn't even notify us. And so that's when we knew there was a change coming. This was prior to the election. I mean, it was in anticipation of the possible outcome of the election. And so, and then we saw them pull the DEI stuff, and that hasn't bode well for them. But we were part of that, and it was huge disappointment, huge disappointment. And
Yeah.
because again, you just feel so good, and it feels so wonderful that there's that kind of acceptance that's growing, and then to have it just taken away,
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Can I just ask, like, on a personal level, as a business owner, I struggle with this. When you get those disappointments, how do you pull yourself back up? Because, like, what do you tell yourself? What do you, like, it's so hard to be so resilient, and especially in a field that people are publicly trying to shut you down,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is where I'm grateful for the team that we have, and the people that we just kind of have to shrug it off and move forward, and know that there is a better day coming. And it was, and what we did in response to Target, was we chose to sever that relationship. They were only pulling the trans product off of their website, not all of our stuff. And so we said, this is not in keeping with our values. So we're going to take everything off. And so that was our choice. It impacted our business, absolutely, but it was
Mhm.
still within our values. And so we're not going to compromise on our values just for a dollar. And
Mhm.
we've been very selective in any opportunities that we've had with other big box stores that have asked us to partner with them, and we've turned them down flatly. So because they don't share our values, and really, I think that's an important. We need to stay true to our values, and then I think as consumers we need to think about that as well, and
Mhm.
know where you're spending your money. And yeah, our underwear is not the cheapest underwear you can find out there, but I can assure you that it's going to last longer than any
Yeah.
of the cheaper underwear that you can find. I can testify to that. I still have originals, OGs, and nary a rip. And so
That's great.
I think that we have to think about that too, especially in this environment. In the,
Fast
a lot of
fashion.
times, exactly. And
Ugh.
have you seen too all of the organizations or corporations that stopped showing up for Pride? And so that
Mhm.
just tells you it always was performative. It was always
Yep.
transactional. It was never because that was what their values were. If it was where their values were, they wouldn't have done it. And that's just the same with people like the whole Victoria's Secret thing. It's just not.
Yeah.
They don't share our values. Never
No,
have, never will.
I see you as like the total punk rock rebellion against Victoria's Secret.
Oh, I like that image. Yeah.
Total alternative. Anybody who doesn't share your values, which are fair values, right? Like, we're about humanity. We're about underwear for all people. We're all about inclusivity and equity. And the last thing we're gonna
Yeah.
do is let you have our underwear. You get to be, I don't want to say soup Nazi about it, but you get to say
Yeah.
no underwear for you.
Yeah,
No
that's right.
TomboyX for you.
Absolutely.
Well, and
Absolutely.
that saying no, right, is important, because it's like they want your product, they see the value in it, their customers want your product, and if you say no, they're like, it's kind of a hit to the ego, right? Like, especially
Yeah.
places that I'm sure, have the influence in common culture. And it's like, yeah, no, we're not supporting you because you're not supporting us. Like, that is
That's
a
right.
strength. And I always say we vote with our dollar, but also
Yeah.
like making business decisions that reduce our dollars is like
Mhm.
even a stronger voice and message and like literally a vote in society.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, we have to be more vigilant about that and more careful about it because of the way we're being treated and singled out as a
Yeah.
community. We have to pull
100%.
together and we have to support corporations and companies that represent who you are.
Agreed.
Well, just think of how many of these big companies, and that includes Meta, Amazon, like how many of these big organizations have LGBTQIA employees who are now going, what? What?
Yeah.
Like now you're okay with people using hate language against me? Like
Right.
now you are going to just ask us to pull the trans underwear
Yep.
offline? Like, wait a second, I'm trans. I mean, how many people who work for these organizations are being impacted and watching their own employer go against their values?
Well, and they may not have options, right? Like they may not have options to leave that position if they're supporting themselves or a family or things like that.
Yep.
So it's this idea that we're forced into these situations, right? I mean, now everyone has free will, but like the idea that like there's limiting acceptance, right? Like there's limiting things that prevent us from being surrounded by love and support.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's that notion of silence, and people are choosing to quietly do things or just not get under into the kind of the spotting scope of where the next attack is going to happen. But they're just trying to stay out of the way. But I don't think that gets us where we need to be. I think we have to resist. We have to stand up and we have to I don't know, put our money where our values are.
Yeah.
So what other advice do you have for allies then? Because obviously we as queer folk, we know what we need to do, but I think we need ally support more than ever. So what advice do you have for allies?
Well, I think it just comes back down to the values again and
Mhm.
and what people care about and spending their dollars or casting their vote for companies or people that represent that. And I we're not alone in this, and we won't survive without our allies. And as far as TomboyX goes, it's just damn fine underwear, so you don't have to be queer to wear it.
Yeah.
It's so true.
We won't
It is-
claim it for ourselves. We
Yeah,
will
exactly.
we will share
We'll
the
share.
news.
Yeah.
There's a really fun quote in Dairy Girls. One of them's
I
like,
love that
"Oh,"
show.
basically said, "What's underwear between cousins?"
I love you remember that. Oh, that's
Like
funny.
that. Oh, what's underwear between allies?
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Oh, you're such a delight, Fran, and you're such an inspiration. You're such a rock star.
A
Aw.
trailblazer.
It's so great.
Well, you guys are awesome. I love what you're doing and appreciate all the work that you do and for sprinkling that glitter around. I believe in rainbow unicorns, and I always like to sprinkle some glitter on them as well.
Yes.
I love that. Well, what else can we do to help you besides buy more TomboyX underwear?
I don't know when this airs, but the Trans Day of Visibility. It's a 3-day workshop or event that's happening in DC at the end of March. Getting people to that event. Also share with your friends and just think about ways that you can stay involved and support our community. And we're always, every month we make a donation to an organization that supports the LGBTQ plus community. So if you are an organization and want to reach out to us, I don't know what the wait time is, but we are taking regular requests, and then obviously shop at TomboyX, become a frequent shopper and help us survive so we can resist.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Love that. I love the big smile on your face when you say resist.
We are going to resist till we're
Yes.
thriving.
Exactly.
I believe that fully.
100%. We are here to conquer. So this is not, we're not going anywhere.
No,
We're not. That's the real gay agenda.
Mm.
We're not going
Exactly.
anywhere. You cannot
Naturally.
erase us.
That's exactly right. Check. Oh,
Oh, thank you so much. I will be sure to
thank you.
share.
I appreciate you.
Oh my gosh. Just humble little us in Madison, Wisconsin.
Nice.
This is what we call a Wisconsin goodbye, Fran, where we continue to say goodbye over
is
and
that
over
what-
again.
I didn't know that. That's
Just
great.
so much love.
Thank you both.
Indeed. Stay warm. Yeah.